Hello, hello, my lovely Sagittarian friends. Welcome to Vivid Vibration. My name is Christina, and I'm going to be doing your general read for the upcoming new moon and solar eclipse. I hope that y'all are doing well. Energy's been big, positive, emotional. I feel like, for my Aries, it was positive. For my Leos, it was emotional. I feel like my Saggies, I'm curious and nervous to see what's going to happen for y'all, because I know that the last read that I did for y'all was very intense. But purging seems to be kind of like the name of the game in terms of what's been going. Sorry, that was just like 15 cards that fell out. In terms of like the name of the game, what's going on. All of the videos that I've watched and articles that I've read concerning this eclipse season. Eclipse seasons are always massive changes, but for whatever reason, this one seems to be bigger than most. It's kind of like this closing out of a timeline for us. I feel like that's what's happening. We're just closing out, what was and moving into, what will be. So, Saggies, let's see what we have here for y'all. The shadow, the threshold, the shapeshifter, Gnosis, the kiss, the crone, and the bridge. Saggies. I kind of want to start with the crone. And I feel like this is y'all. And I feel like it's y'all because, well, for a couple of reasons, but, like the first thing that's coming to mind is just this idea of, the intensity of what you had been going through previously, with this other person. Please keep in mind, roles can be reversed, everything's gender neutral. But, where it was is this idea that, you had been, really kind of playing the devil in this person's life, just backburnering them, like putting everybody else before them, just kind of really, I want to say, like going out of your way to make things difficult for them while showcasing how amazing you can be to everyone else. Look how good I could be to you if you were somebody that was on the, important to me or of significance to me. And it was this idea of, like the little kid who was shoving, their crush down on the playground. Look at how nice I am to everybody but you. And you, in your mind, thinking that this was going to make this person want to, work harder for your love. But in reality, what it did was make this person, resent you and feel like, what, if you can be nice to everybody in the world but me, why would I ever trust you? Why would I ever want to be in a relationship with you? Why would you think that you could just push me down, shove me to the side, show me how good you are to everyone but me, and think that I would stick around for you when you decided that you were going to be nice to me? There was some heaviness in your last read, and I feel like this person really just kind of put you in your place. Obviously it could be that you put this person in their place, take it how it resonates, but I'm going to tell it in one way, and you take it how it makes sense to you. But that being said, the idea is that this kind of, I want to say that this person, highlighted or showcased, your shadow side. The shadow side of being in a relationship with you, or having had a relationship with you, or whatever it is that you want to call this connection that you had with this person, or this person that you were shoving down. They were like, I've never once experienced your light. I've only ever experienced your shadow. I've only experienced the dark side of you. And And I want to say, I mean, the maiden, the mother, and the crone is kind of like that, like the idea of like the process, right? And you have the crone that's coming through, and I really do feel like it, like, that's you, and you had the eternal child, and now, like, I feel like you're coming in as the crone because you were forced to recognize your shadow. You were forced to see, and face the consequences of your actions. And, I think, if you think about the idea of the child will behave however they want because they don't really have a concept of the consequences of their actions. And, I mean, I feel like you're coming in as the crone because now you have a concept of the consequence of your actions. That that in a way kind of lends to this inability to be shocked. I think that that originally, like, your original reaction to this person was one of shock. Like, what do you mean? I mean, because that was kind of like the idea, like this argument that you were having with this person, right? Well, what do you mean? Like, why aren't you should be honored that I would want to be with you in the end, and you should be excited because you've seen how good I'm capable of being to everyone. So I was giving you a show of what it was that you had to look forward to, and this person was like, a show of what I had to look forward to? You mean like an endurance of everything that I had to deal with because of you? And it's just kind of like this flip side of the coin. and 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 I want to say, Saggies, that like the shock that you originally experienced kind of sent you on this trajectory of having to really like follow this intuition, follow this this knowing of like how, almost like this exploration of like what occurred, why did it occur, how did it occur, that familiarized you with concepts and ideas that had otherwise been hidden to you, from you, um, and just gaining understanding and insight, and I want to say, like, experiencing all of the facets of, there had been a point when you were approaching things from a very singular mindset and a very singular approach, and it's like now you've had to experience, kind of the vastness of the effects of your decisions and your behaviors. And so now, you're coming in as the crone who's not surprised by anything anymore. It's like this. I almost feel like there's this idea of like this person can't shock you or startle you with accusations. You know, and I feel like accusations implies, like the possibility that it wasn't true. And I don't think that this person was laying anything at your feet that wasn't true to their experience. But I think that now you're gaining in this understanding and this insight, is enabling you to no longer be shocked by the feelings that they experience, so that you're not reacting to them out of anger or spite or resentment or like whatever reaction or however it was that interaction played out for you, Saggies, because I think that you had to step away and to really like check your shadow side, and see what that meant, and I think I want to say kind of shape shift, change your approach, change your persona. I just want to like check. Real quick, like the trickster, the elusive, the formless, vibrant, adaptive, and humorous. Yeah, I mean, like, change your approach, and kind of like quickly change your shape, and move from, like, you saw me as this person, and now I'm coming in, and I'm this person, and I'm this person who's wise and knowing and not shocked, and I'm not this little kid that's gonna push you down anymore. See how I've changed, and you have the threshold, and I feel like, you're ready to, cross over into this new territory, and this new experience, with this person. The door, the gate, the initiation, growth, individuation, ease, and the liminal. Yeah, I mean, because you're like, I've grown, I've changed, I'm ready to move forward with you as somebody who's understanding, as somebody who, has integrated my shadow side with my light, like somebody who's capable of being, understanding and conscious of my actions, and how that affects you, because you want to cross over into the threshold, and I feel like, the bridge is almost like symbolic of your previous conversation with this person, like the bridge crumbled beneath your feet, like you thought you were just going to cross over, and this person was like, no, I'm sorry, but like that foundation is so faulty and cracked that they're like that this bridge has fallen apart, it's crumbled to pieces. And I think that's interesting that now you have the threshold, and it's kind of like from the bridge to, well, the bridge broke, so now I'm going to try and come in through the gate, like find another way around the situation and the circumstance, because I still want for this intimacy with this person, because I mean, even in the last read, it was this idea of like, but you're the one who I've always really wanted, and I feel like you haven't let go of that. You've just had to find a new path, a new way to cross over, and you had to do it, by shifting your shape, by rather than coming in as the eternal child, coming in as the crone, coming in as somebody who has understanding and knowledge and wisdom, in their approach, rather than somebody who just naively and playfully, behaves out of, what was it, addiction and selfishness. Okay, let's see what else we have here for my Saggies. Okay, so we have the Two of Swords, the Knight of Swords, the King of Wands, and the Fool. And again, it's kind of the idea of like cutting away with who you were, cutting away with that eternal child and shifting into, the crone who is understanding and aware, of what it means to create a faulty foundation, and how you've done that, and how you can cut away with that. And I want to say, like, speaking on it, like maybe reapproaching this person and reapproaching this conversation, like perhaps it's that you've taken the time, since last you spoke to this person, to really kind of reassess and reorganize, and see it from a different perspective, see the situation from a different perspective, the relationship from a different perspective, and your approach and your means of moving forward, just really, like I've had to kind of reassess, and now I want to, I want to go and I want to speak on it to this person. The King of Wands is a charged action, not a charged action, like an actual action. I mean, the King of Wands is setting out, on his journey. It's not like this beginning to, it's this actually doing it, and this moving forward in the direction that you want to go. And I think that plays in with the Fool, because there is an idea of like you've changed directions, you've changed, approach, and now it's kind of like you're taking what it is that you've learned. He's got his little suitcase full of his his necessities, you know, and moving into this new realm. You know, and I feel like the Fool in this instance is really just kind of representative of how you feel about it, because even though you're coming in as the Crone, you're coming in as somebody who's changed your mentality and your approach, and you've shifted your shape from, you know, the selfish child to the, you know, to the knowing Crone. You're still, you know, there's still this youthfulness present, this excitedness, this, you know, like spirit of adventure, you know, and like I'm still setting out toward what it is that I want, and I'm doing it with this readiness, because I want to reach, you know, like destination intimacy. You know, and I'm willing to drop all of the unnecessary baggage, you know, cut away with what wasn't serving, and, you know, move toward, you know, what it is that I really seek to conquer. Because I think there is kind of, in a way, an idea of conquering, conquering your fears, and conquering your dreams, almost, you know, like what it is that you dream of accomplishing. So what else we can get from my Saggies? Whoa, okay, sorry, that was like too much. Let's see what we have here. We have the Seven of Pentacles, the Page of Swords, the Strength, the King of Swords, and the King of Cups. You guys have almost all of the kings, right? Which is, again, it's interesting because, you know, you had the idea of like the eternal child, right? And shape-shifting into, you know, the Crone, and I feel like that really is showcasing itself here, you know, when you have the King of Wands, the King of Cups, and the King of Swords. You know, it's like this, I have matured, you know, almost, I don't want to say like overnight, because I don't think that this was like an overnight process for you, but I also kind of get the feeling that it didn't take you, like this wasn't like years and years. I mean, this is like your last read to this read, right? But I mean, you know, like that's, again, ties into the idea of like all of the changes that are you know, present with this eclipse, you know, and just kind of like this purging of old behaviors, you know, cutting away with things that were no longer serving us so that we can move into that next stage of life. And I feel like what you're saying is, you know, like I found the strength to mature, and I grew into this person who is I want to say like a solid. I mean, kings are solid, you know, they're, you know, like solid in their decision, solid in their action, solid in their love, they're reliable, you know, and I feel like that's like you're saying, you know, like I'm coming in and I'm reliable and I'm solid and I'm ready to move forward with you in a reliable, solid, stable way. You know, I'm ready to come in as the king, and offer you my love, and offer you my security, and offer you my passion. I mean, wands are passionate, they're fiery, you know, and I feel like you're like, I have passion, and I have love, and I have stability and security. And it's kind of like, I mean, you know, the Seven of Pentacles is this idea of like, you know, like waiting to like bring forth life. And I kind of feel like, you know, you were like, before I was in that place where I was like, I knew that I was gonna want to, you know, I was gonna be ready for this at some point in time. I just like, I wasn't there yet, and now I am. And I know, I mean, the Page of Swords was in your last read, and it's kind of that idea of like, I know that you know, were having to, you know, protect yourself from me, and I know that you were having to really, you know, like focus on yourself, because I was focused on me and my, you know, idea of what I was doing in terms of you, in terms of me, in terms of other people, you know, and And I feel like it's just kind of this conversation of like, see how I've changed, see how I'm ready now. That's sweet, Saggies. I hope that this resonates for y'all. Let's see what else we can get here. The Hermit and the Seven of Wands. You know, and I kind of feel like it's this idea of like you pulled away, you know, you shifted your shape, and you found a new way out. I feel like I'm just repeating myself now. This read's a little bit shorter, but I don't know, just my battery's low, so we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Let's do one more archetype. The Vow. I feel like the Vow was in your last read, where you were like, no, this is you're the one that I'm connected to. And I feel like you're, again, you know, you're like, this is, you know, you're the one that I have vowed myself to. You're the one who I knew that I would be a king for. You know, it's kind of that idea of like, I was a child for everyone else, and I was, you know, like I wasn't, you know, like I was nicer, and I was, you know, better and behaved for other people, and you know, like, I thought I was practicing, you know, for what I was going to be able to give to you, and I see like the error of my ways and my thoughts, and how I was doing that and operating from a shadow side of you know, cognizance. And yet, you know, like now I am coming in as the king, you know, and I'm vowing my change and my growth and my development to you, because you are the one who, you know, made it worthwhile. You know, and I don't say that to give this other person the credit for what you've done, or to say that you wouldn't have done it otherwise. But I do feel like just like this connection, or this, you know, desire that you have for this person, like I want to say that there was an element of motivation behind their, you know, anger that kind of sent you into this, you know, like real quick, let me shift shape and cut out with what was. You know, because I think you recognized that you were not able to cross the bridge because you had created a faulty foundation, and so you had to really like find another way and evolve into the next version of yourself, so that you could in fact experience you know, what it was that I think you had thought you were going to experience all along, but had somehow lost your way. And lost your opportunity, you know, to cross over with this person. I hope this resonates for y'all. Thank you so much for spending some time with me. Hope everything works out in your favor, and I will see you again soon. Bye.